Hi. I didn't expect people to be here so soon. I'm surprised you're here. How's it going? How is everyone? I got my glasses on so I can see. Please don't try to fall asleep to this because Bamba will inevitably bark at some time. Ooh, my lights are going crazy. Let me see if I can fix them. Do you see the like glitchy look? Sometimes if you make it brighter, it's like a little less noticeable. Could you let me know if you could hear me okay and everything? I kind of want to stand back, but it feels like usually when I make videos, I'm pretty close to the microphone. Hey, I think I saw Korik. Hey, Korik. I haven't been focusing on the names yet. Anyway, the reason that we're here, the reason that I'm here, I really wanted to create like some videos. I've been struggling to create videos. Honestly, I'm sure just as my neck is better, my back actually hurts now. But as much as I want to be here and be like, hey, like happy face, cool, excited. And by the way, like I am totally excited for this time period, you know, this like freaking new full moon eclipse. And then 2 days later, the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, it's like a big deal, you know? And the energy is freaking crazy. It's crazy, you know? So I'm so grateful or happy for the people who are doing really well with this energy because I know some people are. There's got to be some people who are just like really on top of a big wave right now, you know? So congratulations if that's you. But like I can't fake it, you know? Like I am just getting pummeled by this energy. I've been crying all freaking day. And I'm really not a crier. I'm an Aries moon. I'm a Leo rising. And even before I found out I was Leo rising, I thought I was a Virgo rising. Not big criers, you know, but that Cancer freaking sun, man, I'm like crying, eating a salad alone in my house, like crying into my salad. It was really a good moment for me. Oh my God, you know, but just like really funny. Anyway, I'm just shuffling cards. I'm gonna light a candle. This is my new office that's totally not decorated. I'm sorry if the double doors back there look kind of creepy. I don't think there's another place I'm gonna be able to set it up. So I'm just gonna keep it here for now. That wall is like light, you know, so I can't really have the light coming from there. It's like a window, and that wall's really tiny. Oh my God. All right. So let's get our candle going. And I just wanted to share some themes that were coming up and pull some cards and just like hang out, really. Like I'm really here to hang out, honestly. So, and just talk about the vibe and stuff. The vibe of all the drinks. I have a big thing of cantaloupe that I ate most of it. All right. So we're going to light a candle. Just set an intention. This is not like my, you know, candle for the full moon. If you do have a candle, or if you don't, it's a good day to set a candle intention for yourself. You just want to hold space, hear a motorcycle driving down the street or a fast car or something. But the themes that like I've been picking up on are very bullied. It's like this bullying energy of self or hypercritical people. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, granted, like I'm very sensitive right now, and like criticism doesn't really bother me. Like, I'm not like, oh, that person criticized me. But, you know, as like a human, it's kind of crazy that 50% of like, not 50%, that's a bit much, but like 20% of like the messages that I get and comments, maybe I shouldn't put numbers to this because I don't want to make it sound like I'm actually checking, but like checking numbers or something. But like commenting on like just things that are so trivial and like just why are we open for criticism like all the time? It's crazy. I know that's the way of the world. I'm not trying to like go push the ocean back, you know, like I'm not getting mad at the ocean for being itself. It's just been like hitting me a little like extra, you know, people like thinking they know my business and stuff. And you're just like, dude, like you have literally no idea what is going on over here. Leave me alone. All right. So the energy that I'm picking up feels like bullying. It feels like we're kind of stuck between this like incredible amount of energy in Capricorn right now with the opposing, or I guess Capricorn and all that is like opposing this full moon and this full moon eclipse. And I can't believe like how much I'm like going back to childhood and like remembering like weird shit, you know? I'm just like, what is this? Like, oh my God. Anyway, and it's also this like almost like hypercritical parents. Like now maybe that's just me picking things up because that was in what was actually in my childhood. You know what I mean? But it just feels like these like criticizing or this like nagging or this like kind of toxicity back and forth. So I'm intending with this candle, I'm sorry I couldn't hold it any longer, to support this like ease and flow between the two sides, or and like the criticism and like inner bullying or like inner criticism that I'm feeling. I don't know. Maybe does anyone else feel like they're criticizing themselves a lot, or like feeling kind of detached, or I don't know, anything like that? I would love to hear. Supercharged, creative energy, negative thoughts. Yeah, I have a North Node in Cancer too. It's just crazy. Anyway, let's pull some cards. I'm like living on the edge today. This is my second kombucha, and this is one of the boozy ones. Haha. Okay. So I'm not going to do anything for the zodiac signs specifically. Like I'm not going to run through the zodiac signs. I don't think I have the mental capacity. I've had a lot of technical issues too. And I've just been like kind of in a weird space, you know? So I'm sorry that I haven't been putting out as many videos. Hey, Rachel, thank you so much. Thank you. And I'm sorry if my energy is weird today, guys. I just have to keep it real. I'm okay, you know? Thank you, Rachel. Super generous and nice of you. So this is just like, we're going to pull some cards and talk about it. Kind of do a expanded thing going on. I'm so sorry. This desk is like really not big enough. I need a little space, you know? I need a little space to put these down. Okay. So if there's anything you're specifically looking for, it's nice to kind of hold it in your head, especially because this is live. So if you are here, it might have a stronger pull, but I'd say the same or a different kind of version for people who are watching post, you know, like you still get it. If you get it, if it's meant for you, you'll still get it. All right, just looking for guidance. I'm just going to pull 4 cards and then we'll kind of elaborate on them. So let me set them down first. And I'll put these here. Good, that's good. All right, so our first card is the 8. Goodness, am I doing math right? 8. Like 5 plus 3. What's that? The 8 of Cups in reverse. Thank you so much. Much love back to you. Oh my gosh, why can't I read? I'm not going to be able to say it. Thank you so much. That's super generous of you. So the 8 of Cups in reverse. A lot of us are going on a new journey. We've had to leave something that was maybe fulfilling at one time behind and go on this new journey, right? But because it's in, oh, excuse me, that was my ring. Because it's in reverse, I feel like it's not as easy as it should be. Like this person's like, okay, cool. I'm so sorry. The light is like wacky. Let me see if I can, little be able to do there. Sorry, guys. But This person's like, okay, I've had it. I've seen this. I've got it. Looks good, stable. Okay. Continue, like, let me keep going. Like, okay, now I've got this next foundation. Like, let me keep going. I know there's more. I'm going to go get that other cup. Like, look, like, I want to put that cup there. I'm going to go on a journey and get my next fulfillment. It's fun, like, it's good. It's good for us to do, but in the reverse position, it makes me think that there's some kind of blockage about it, or that we're not enjoying it as much as we could be. It's funny too. This one always makes me think of an eclipse because it has like the crescent moon over like I don't know, like, right? Doesn't it look like two things, not just one thing? So that's kind of funny. The second card is the King of Pentacles in reverse. Sorry, I have to like rest my elbow. King of Pentacles reversed. So I think some of us are maybe not really feeling so confident about our physical situation, our material situation, our money. Maybe our body, could be your health, could be your reality right now and what you've built around you. Because in reverse, it really isn't, not enjoying it. It's off, it could be this, of course, I feel like so much with this eclipse and always in our lives, but like, especially right now, the reminder is like, it's so much about perspective, like you can be afraid of something and still like make it fun, or still like be excited about it, like there's a way to change feeling fear to feeling excited, I guess is a better way to say it. So anyway, it seems like there's something going on with the physical reality. Maybe feeling stuck, maybe feeling like you're just not manifesting the way you want to, or maybe you did and it didn't look the way you wanted it to. Or just like kind of like stress about money. I mean, I feel like January is kind of like a stressful time. Dude, this fucking card, right? Like every time. Then we have death. And yes, we know a door has closed, so another can open. We hear you, death. Like, we get it. All right. And we'll expand upon all these as we go. We'll just like build stories. And the Tower. Everyone's two favorite cards. Everyone's buddies are here. It's a party. The Tower. Everything had to crumble. What crumbled in your life? What can you reflect on? It had to. It totally had to, It's making room. It's time to be rebuilt. You're going to have all this space now to rebuild. All right. So now we're going to expand on these cards, and I'll keep pulling them back so they make a little more sense. But those are our starting stories. So think about what you still want to go after. Like, what do you still want to go after? What's going to really fill your cup or make you feel like you're collecting experiences of fulfillment? What is it? Think about whatever that is, excuse me, in your life. And then think about in your life, where are materially you feeling insecure, feeling any lack or any disconnection from, or something that you're just not quite yet manifesting or seeing manifest in the physical reality. Think about the death that you've recently experienced. Was it a career change? Was it a friendship ending? Was it something inside of yourself that you had to let go of, or that you chose rather to let go of, like self-sacrificing, or excuse me, something like that? Think what that is for you. And think about what's fallen. Like, these are kind of the same, you know what I mean? Like, I guess the reminder is like, this one's more physical. This one's more like physically things are different. There's a different place for you to hang out. There's a different something, like it's material in a sense. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but because we have the death card and the tower I would associate with being more physical, and the death with more like metaphorical, perhaps. All right, so we're just going to get clarity on all of those stories, okay? Or a literal death, yeah. A lot of people had family members. I had 2 people in my family cross over, like last month or something. No one I was super close to, but 2 people on like both my dad's side of the family. this like cute little cousin of my dad's who's like a nun in Ireland. And she's super cute. And she gives the best hugs and always wears a cute little sweater. Rest in peace. And my uncle also crossed over. All right. And you might have too. You might have like, because you're going through this, right? And you're like nervous about it. It's like, oh my God, I'm nervous. The air conditioning just went on in case you hear something. I'm sorry. I wasn't anticipating that. It was pretty chilly. But the new phase, right? The new thing. Oh, I want this. Like, I want this. Like, that's why things had to be let go of. That's why I have to rebuild. That's why I have to go on this journey, because I want something more. Like, I want something bigger. I want something that leads to completion, you know, and like fulfillment. But like physically too, it's like, ooh, but it's so much work. It's so much work. Like I'm already in pain. My back, my neck and my back already hurt, you know, that kind of thing. Thank you, Hannah. So feeling this lately. Thank you for all the work you do for someone. Thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it so very much. So you might have this experience going on where you're like, I want something bigger. I had to let all this stuff go. But it might, if you do have anyone who's crossed over in your family who you're really missing, or you're like, God, I wish I could call her for help, or I wish I could vent to her, or I wish I had, you know, him in my life now, like that kind of thing, you know, I wish I could call my grandmother, like I want to tell her, I want her to make me feel better, you know, like that kind of stuff, that can be coming up a lot too. And we always miss them, but like, it might be like, there's certain times, you know, where you like really are like, oh, everything would be different if I could just talk to them, you know, like that kind of thing. So let's just get some clarity on all these stories here. Right? Aw. So I'm just going to pull, just lay them down. There. All right. So for the first story, all right, this storyline. And they're all tied in, you know, take what resonates from any of this and leave. It's not like they're individualized, just to kind of put them in perspective. The pair is the freaking 9. Is this 9? Yeah, 9. It's backwards on my screen. Goodness, I'm out of it. Forgive me. The 9 of freaking cups in reverse, right? Like, it's not going to be fulfilling if you even get the 9, you know, if you're not enjoying it. Like, it has to really be for you. Like, there's a block to getting to the freaking ultimate fulfillment of like having so much. You can be generous. You're like, look what I did. It like inspires others. You can have a party. You can call all your friends over. Or you can feed everyone. You know what I mean? Like that. There's like pride and warmth and just like, I got you, you know, like that kind of vibe. Like, how can you do that if we're going into it like so fearful, right? So we'll continue the story, but like, it's kind of hilarious that those freaking cards came together. 8 and 9. What are the odds? Okay, so here's our storyline here. And we got the 2 of Pentacles reversed. So the King of Pentacles reversed and the 2 of Pentacles reversed. You need balance. Whatever it is, the reason that the material is not manifesting or you feel disconnected is because there's something out of balance. This could be your rest and your work. This could be your masculine and feminine energy. This could be how much you give and how much you receive, like what you allow from those portals, you know? So we've probably talked about this a million times, but you can consider, you know, that your left hand is your receptive hand. We could argue it if you want to, you know, if you're a lefty, you could kind of argue it that your left would be your more dominant hand. But let me just say non-dyslexia, you know, like pitfalls and booby traps for myself. So you have a receptive portal through your palm chakra. It's very much connected to the heart. And then you have your other meridian on your dominant hand, which is more outward. So you can just sit with your hands together or with your hands on the ground or with your left hand up and your right hand down and just sit with the intention of connecting to your higher power and balancing your energy, balancing your amount that you give and the amount that you receive. I'm open to receiving all that supports me on my journey, everything I would require, and I'm excited to share and create what I'm called to, like really simple like that. Okay, so these aren't really telling us much yet because they're just like, yeah, this is Pentacle, that's Pentacle too. How freaking funny. All right, on to the death story. Okay, so we got death. Look how similar too. How funny. Oh my gosh, these cards today. So we have death as the story line or whatever. And what's tied into this is some kind of celebration. You can celebrate, It was hard, it was sad, it was whatever, but there's something beautiful that comes with it. Even, I'm so sorry, I have to like really clear my throat. My throat's been like really scratchy. I'm sorry, guys. I had to take my inhaler today and it makes me like have to clear my throat in an aggressive way. So I'm so sorry. But even if we look at this as some door has closed so another can enter, like literally, like the cycles, this is about, it's like a celebration card. I'm so sorry, this light. It's like about family. It's about going out and camaraderie and working together and celebrating each other and uplifting. So whatever died off will lead to something beautiful, something to celebrate. And if it was a death, a death, then there is always that person's life to celebrate, right? Like, I don't want to die and have people be like, oh, she's gone, or like, oh yeah, I want them to be like, oh, that was really cool. Remember that time that we did this? Or I really loved when we talked about that. Like I'd rather be remembered. Oh God, sorry. Remembered for like the good times, right? So that's a reminder. But this looks like it kind of ushers, it like clears the way, clears the path for the new, what will be celebratory and bring in new relationships. It looks like new friendships, new buddy system, new support system, ones that you have so much in common with. All right, so we're moving over to the Tower, and the corresponding card here is the Eight of Swords. So some of us aren't yet facing the Tower. Like, it's like, I don't want to look at it. If I just put it out of my mind, I won't have to, it's not there really. Like, no, this is fine. I'll be fine. Just cover my eyes some more. Yeah. Like, just leave me here, leave me behind. I don't want to look at the Tower. I don't want to look at it, but this one's in reverse. So I think that we're starting to realize that we do really need to look at it, maybe that we haven't been. For those of you who are only fucking looking at it, like you can't look at anything else, this could be telling you to like pull back a little, like add the good, add what makes you feel good. Think about that ninth cup, the ninth cup, the quest, the scroll or whatever, like Indiana Jones and shit, All right. The Tower's not a bad card. It's just a lot of chaos. It's very disruptive, or it can be very disruptive. But we have to really look and face, right? And see and experience. Because without validating what we experience and what is going on and what is reality, we can't change it. I was having a conversation with someone recently. I'm not going to name names because I never like to do that. But hopefully she sees it anyway. And we were talking about when you, more or less, we were talking about when you're in meditation, and do you ever like be meditating or just have your eyes closed or be falling asleep and you start kind of picturing like bad things, like the other night I just like was seeing worms, like worms. And I was like, why am I seeing worms? Like in my head, like, I don't want to see the worms. And so I was like, wait a minute, I'm a creator here though. I don't have to see the worms. So in my mind, I like scooped up the worms and like opened my window and like put them out in the garden. And I was like, here, this is where you belong. And then I didn't see the freaking worms anymore. You know what I mean? Like if you see something you don't like, try to heal it or engage it or like put it somewhere where it belongs, you know? If there's a monster chasing you, like try to make it laugh or be like, hey, buddy, we're on the same team. What do you? Ha I feel like I've had lots of dreams like that. Hello. I'm just saying hi to ransom. Nobody knows what I'm saying hi to. Just saying hi. You said, I lost a friend a year ago to a Texas shooting. It was heartbreaking, but it made me get close to people that I appreciate so much right now and that she loved those two. Aww. Thank you for sharing. All right, so we're going to keep continuing with the first one, the first pile. I'm sorry. We're going another round is what I'm trying to say. Goodness. I like to do like 4 across and 4 down. So we have 2 more little rounds here. And I'm getting a little congested over here. Okay. Ooh, okay. So this card is Judgment in reverse. And this is saying, like, don't be so critical of what you want. Whatever you're seeking, there's something inside you that's judging yourself for it. And then how are you going to get it if you're like already like, should I want this? Or, ooh, is this stupid? Or whatever, you know? It's like you're judging yourself and the things that you want, or you're judging. It doesn't feel like your abilities. It feels like you're judging yourself, like what your desires are. I'll show you the card, normal, straight up. Judgment is about like being reborn, being awakened from the dead, you know? See them in their coffins and they're like playing the horn or whatever. I don't know, but the first thing that I felt like here was just like the criticism side of just judgment, you know? Who are we to say like what's right and wrong for us? And I mean, like, obviously I don't mean evil stuff, but like in general, like what's appropriate or what's not. Is it too egoic? Is it just open for criticism? Is it open for failure? Do we think it's too big? But what would you do if you didn't judge what it was? You know, if you thought about that cup, that 9th cup, that completion cup, like the cherry on freaking top, you know, like what is that? Like what would make your life, ooh, you know? Because you can have it. It's telling you. Like it's right here. It's just like, well, you can't have it if you're going to judge it. If you're going to judge it, you can't have it because you're going to block yourself. Like, is this really working? Is this how it works? Just like smooshing it before it gets anywhere. All right, then we're moving over to the physical, the King of Pentacles, the physical imbalance. What are you spending versus what are you saving or whatever, that kind of stuff. Money in, money out. That's like, who doesn't have that problem sometimes, or at least has dealt with that in their lifetime. And we have the Fool in reverse. So it's saying like, it's time to stop. Like whatever it is, whatever the imbalance is, let's like find it and truly like stop it. Not like, oh yeah, this happens to me every once in a while. Whatever this is, like it's time to like master it. It's not like kiddie stuff. It's not a you know, I don't say it's not playful. Anything can be made playful, but it's saying like get serious about this. Like don't take it lightly. Like really know that it's so, you know, I get it. The physical reality is freaking confusing. It's like sometimes we don't want to be here. There's so much like back and forth and push and pull and all this stuff, right? But we have to engage here. We have to be balanced. We have to be grounded. We have to take care of our bodies, you know, with like basic stuff at least, you know, drink your water, get some exercise. That's fun for you, not like tedious exercise that you don't like. And the Fool is just saying like, this card is all about like a fresh start, like just like trusting and being like totally open, like free. And here it's just like, done, you know, like you can't be wishy-washy about the physical. You can trust and manifest in the physical, but to be wishy-washy about it or to not take it seriously or to if we're at all thinking of it as a game, like it's not a game, you know, but we still should make it fun. We still should make it like enjoyable, of course. All right, now we have our little story going over here. The Death with the Six of Wands. And the card here is the Queen of Swords reverse. Okay, let me think about this one because this is a little confusing now. So we have Death. Okay, so it's funny when I lay them out this way. This is going to work. When I lay them out this way to myself, when they're not backwards, they're like looking, they're both looking towards this. It's crazy. It's backwards. I guess I could do it this way for you. Anyway, I'm just going to confuse myself with all that shit. But the Queen of Swords is about being very clear in communication, watching what you do, like almost like social etiquette, technological etiquette, discernment, quick thinking, power. I don't know. It feels like there's something to do with like technology or the Aquarius season coming, perhaps. And there's potential for you to really tap into a really beautiful version of yourself, of course, always, but like a really beautiful facet of yourself encompassed in this that is very like sharp-minded. But there's a blockage for some reason, or we're not quite there yet. And maybe that's because we're still on the journey a little here. We're still moving from the death experience in whatever format that took or whatever medium into the celebratory aspects of the death. But there's movement in these cards, you know, there's like journey, and it's telling you that you could get to this, you could bring this in. So you want to work to do that. Keep it in your intentions, that clarity, that quickness, that sharpness, that ability to make decisions, that ability to be heard and to be seen. And like no one can, well, maybe this is what it is. No one, as much as you want to be heard and seen for what your words, what you feel in your heart, you want to express, you want others to be able to discern what the heck is in your heart too, by how good of a communicator you are, and how this is that you can't control, and how good of receptors they are for communication. Every time I make a video, well, not every time, but so often, like if I make a video or make a Instagram story, it's like people like leave me them, like people like message me and they ask questions and I'm like, did I say that? And I'll like rewatch it and I'm like, no, I didn't say that. Like, where is this even coming from? Like that kind of thing. Like I had someone like go crazy on like something because I used like a Thoth tarot deck and it was like from Crowley or whatever. And it was like, oh, you're promoting Crowley. It was like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm not. Like, this, somebody gave me this gift. This whole video is called Gifts That I Got. It was like Christmas gifts I got. Someone gave me that deck. Like, I'm not promoting Crowley and like, who cares? Like, I don't know. You know, you're just like, what? Like, so what I'm trying to say here is people are always going to hear what the heck they want to hear or what they're able to hear. So don't stress out so much on what other people think of you and how much other people trust you. And like, don't get me wrong, like we should all be trustworthy. We should all be honest. I don't mean anything to say against that. But you can't control how other people interpret you, you know? You can't make someone see you as this like super intelligent freaking person, you know? Like if they think that you're whatever, they're just going to think that. That's their reality. That's not your reality, you know? 200 years canceled. That's great. It's just like so funny, right? I was like, what? Like I have like over 300 videos on this channel. Actually, I have over 400, but not all of them are public. And it's like, when have I ever talked about like, guys, like that's what I mean too, like that criticism. Like it just comes in, it's like, it's not even commentary. It's just like criticizing what people say and do and stuff. So like maybe you're going to deal with some criticism. maybe this death and the fact that like you're getting it together and you're like, hey, that happened, but like I'm gonna keep moving and I'm gonna live for myself and I'm gonna get that ninth cup and that's why I'm here. That's why this whole freaking thing happened. But like, judge me if you will then, like judge me. You know what? We're all going through a major, major, major time right now, like major, and you're going to be different. So be prepared, like be prepared to see your friends differently and have an open enough capacity in your heart to remember like they're changing, I'm changing. I love them perhaps still. I'm going to learn to get used to this version of, like this person, not like, oh man, you've changed. You're like this now, like be gentle and expect people to be freaking gentle with you too, and if they're not, then like, that it's not like right. Also though, we're all going through some major, 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 major portal changes and shit. And you're gonna lose some friends. You're gonna lose some. I'm not saying like you're gonna lose friends, like, oh, they were such a good fit and you're gonna lose them. It's like they're not. Then the ones that aren't a good fit, they're gonna fade out. Like be okay with it. Sorry, I forget like where we were going there, but criticism. Don't let what other people think inhibit your growth, inhibit your celebration time. Okay, then we're at the tower thing again. I'm sorry if I'm doing this confusing. Okay, we have the moon reversed. Ooh, it's got like two things. Like I have these things. It's like, it's funny. The dog. What's the other one? A coyote, a dog, or a wolf, or a fox, and the moon. I'm sorry, and the like crawfishy lobster dude. So this is about the subconscious. So let's go back to our story. I'm sorry. So just to retouch, the tower, what has crumbled more likely in your reality. There are pieces of it remaining. There are things that need to be tied up. There's new schedules that need to be worked out. There's stuff needs to happen. Like that you're moving stuff around, like it's not just like, oh, that happened. It's like, now I gotta clean this up, or I gotta learn how to live in this rubble while I figure out how I'm gonna rebuild it. I'm so sorry for the throat clearing. I don't want to do it either. But we're not really seeing either like focus on the good and focus on like, you know what? Yeah, this clears up some space. Oh yeah, that big broken thing over there, I can repurpose that into this or whatever, so like be creative. Don't like, you have to look at it. You have to look at like what the pieces are. And the moon is asking us here in reverse to, I don't want to say withdraw from the subconscious, but to bring it into reality. This is not exactly, a mental thing or a subtle thing that we'll be doing here as we rebuild. It's like come out of the subconscious. So even you could see here, like, oh, I don't want to look at it. I just want to be stoned all day. I don't want to face it. I'm just going to go to the gym. I don't want to do it. No. Like, I'm just going to watch YouTube videos. Okay, it's bedtime. Okay, but like, it's like saying like, get out of the fog, like get out of the disillusionment, get out of the veil where you're covering yourself with the whole tower thing. And like, I get it. Like, I'm not pushy. Like, take your time. It's your life. Like do how what you want to do, but it's asking us to like come out of that space. And I think no doubt we will when we're ready. How could we not? All right. So one more round on all the little stories. I think next time I should just do it differently, but this is the first time I've done this live this way before. Yeah. Crowley's like, you don't have to. He's like a super occultist, but like known for like some really terrible shit too, or allegedly or whatever. But like, and it's like, I'm over here like, on behalf of the highest and greatest good, in perfect comfort and alignment. And they're like, ugh, Crowley, I knew it. It's like, what? Yikes. And just because like some like nasty stuff in a cult has like 666 or something doesn't mean that like 666 is bad either. Like, so that's what really bothers me about like the super dark occult stuff that like gets real spooky and like crazy and stuff, is that it gives it like a bad name or a bad taste for other people, but it's the person that makes it good or bad, you know? It's not the, you know what I'm trying to say, I hope. All right, so I'm just going to do one more round here. Okay. Thank you. All right, so we're back. Final piece of the story here. Right? We're out to find the 9th cup. We're blocking ourselves from the 9th cup because we're criticizing. We're judging what it is that we want. Oh, and it's balance. Is it a relationship? Is it like love? Is it equality? Is it being seen by someone or seen in some way? So if you can't see, it's the Lovers in reverse. It's got like nature and like fertility, kind of like very like feminine energy god figure, kind of angel looking with the 2. So it's like impulse and creation. So if you're not in a romantic headspace, what are you afraid to create? What do you want to create? Why does it feel so out of touch? Why are you judging what you want to create? But, you know, for I think a lot of people, it's going to be a relationship. It's going to be like that desire to like have a partner, have like a buddy to go get like some food with and like just hang out with all the time. You know, some people are really looking for that. And it might not be as traditional as it used to be. You know what I mean? It might be different. There might be this kind of like asexual quality to it or like neutrality, but like people out there just don't want to be lonely, you know? They want to be complimented. They want to be seen and be heard and for someone to get their jokes, you know? It's like, good one. You know? All right, so we're just going to break this story down and we'll go through the others. The cup. You're off. You're already on the quest. Like you did it. You're already doing it. And if you're not doing it now, you'll definitely be doing it after Sunday. Okay. So it's coming. You really need to let go of judgment. This is a full moon. It is a time for manifesting, but letting go of judgment. Is this too cheesy for you? You know, is there a jaded aspect? Is it just what you want to create of your own energy that you feel is silly or you don't know what it is yet? If you don't know what it is yet and you're looking at the Lover's card like, what? Just think of like what makes you happy. And if you don't know what makes you happy, I know like sometimes I don't know what makes me happy. Like, who am I? You can start somewhere. You know, you can start with a song, you can start with a feeling, you can start with a color, you can start with your favorite pair of shoes, like whatever it is, your favorite meal. All right. So the next, and attach to that as a feeling and indulge in it and then cling to that and like hold it like a fire inside of you and let it like shine through. And it communicates to your subconscious. It communicates to like your field and it starts showing you more and more of things that make you feel that way. So this is our King of Pentacles reverse story. Why can't we manifest? Or like something's off with like money, with health, with security, and more of like, I want to say financial. It feels financial to me. Or resources, you know, doesn't just, not everything is finances. It's resources in general. We need to balance it. It's just out of balance. And we also have to take it seriously. And maybe with the finances too, like don't try to do something new. Like don't try like, oh, you know what? Let me just try this whole new system out. Or let me try doing this. If it's like, if you're thinking about getting a loan even, like I don't want to tell you what to do, but like this with this makes me think like, if you're doing something like that. Oh, thank you so much, Tolan. Thanks for the reading. A lot of truth, insight for me to think about. Oh, I'm so glad to hear. Thank you so much for the generous live chat, super chat. The balance is also just asking us like, take it seriously. So if it is a loan, if it is something like that, I'm not trying to tell you not to do it, but like make sure it's like serious. You're going over the fine print. You know, it's like worth it. And it's not just like, ooh, why did I do this? This is even more of a pain for me. And the final card for us in this story is the Five of Swords. I'm sorry, Wands. So we've got, it looks like a lot of people pulling things together to try to set something up. Like yeah, it almost looks like they're fighting, right? But like you can see that they're almost trying to like set it up so it stays safe. Jeez, sorry. Set it up so it stays stable. Like this guy is like kind of holding them and like trying to build them together. And this one's like, wait a minute, that's mine. I don't know. They're not like fighting, they're just like a mess. Just a mess, you know? Too many things going on. So here, okay, so this story now, we have our conclusion. What's off in the physical? Well, the balance is off. We really need to take things seriously. And we have to make sure we're not trying to do too many things at once. We're limited sometimes, you know, and we're in this very Capricorn energy kind of space where limitation is really brought to the forefront. It's really being experienced. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And it's like if you only have this much and you're trying to do all this, then of course you're going to come out of balance. Don't open a new credit card to do it. You know, like don't be like, well, that one's paid off, but I'm going to go back and use it. Like just stop, like streamline things, you know, like it's just messy. So it's just telling you to pump the brakes a little there, like go over it, set yourself up. This is a very big, actually, like now that I'm saying all this is a very big year for like no buy years. I keep seeing this on like YouTube and stuff, like my no buy plan. Some of you might be called to do that, to like cut back on like, okay, if you get coffee every day out, like to commit to making your own coffee every day. Or if you, I don't know, like buy yourself clothes a lot, but like you kind of know it's not, like don't really need it. Thank you, Moonlit. Thank you. Cute little trees. You know, like what you can do for yourself to like prioritize where you're putting your energy, particularly where you're putting your money and your resources. And because if you have debt, like maybe one of the goals, you know, I should say, like, I don't ever like to focus on debt as a reason that I need money. Like, oh, I hope I get money for that because then I'm going to pay off my card. Like, I'll do that, you know, but like, I don't want to manifest from debt. If you're manifesting like, oh, I just need money to pay my bills. Oh, I need money to do this. Oh, I need money. And it's like bill and like lack based. It doesn't, manifesting from my experience doesn't really go that great. Like you'll get it, but it's like, like I needed more, like focusing on flow and having all that you need all the time. And it's like in and out, in and out. That's a better place, you know? So, I don't know. Oh, thank you, Miriam. Thank you so much. That's so generous of you. All right. So back now we're moving on to our death story. Death story. Death came, cleared out. Now it's time to remember to celebrate whatever that was. If it was a relationship, if it was an actual person's life that now we should be celebrating. If it's just the fact that, dude, that sucked. That was sucked to go through. But like, I know it's better for me and this is my life and I got to live it. And like, I'm going to find the people who are like close friends and like-minded and go out and do things together and build things together and just create together. And I'm my own, you know, it's like there's a group energy here, but the focus is definitely on like the individual as well, isn't it? You know, so that like just nice feeling. And there's a warning, we could say, of not really worrying what other people think about it. Doing your best to communicate, speaking from your heart, expressing yourself, calling it like it is. Like, don't be afraid to hold your boundaries. Don't be afraid to cut people off. You know, and I don't mean like talk over them, but I just mean like if somebody, thank you, thank you, scope this. Thank you. Just funny to say it that way. If it's like, I don't know. People, don't worry about what other people think. Don't worry about other people's judgment. Don't judge yourself. Don't judge other people. We're all changing. We're all changing a lot right now. I'm in a different room, like I'm going to hear, oh, I like when the lights are darker. It's like, I do too, but I can't always do that all the time. I'm limited. I'm a human. Like I have different things going on. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you. Ah. So like be open to other people's change, but also like don't worry about what other people think of you. And the card is the Wheel of Fortune. Anything can happen when you're not limited by what you think other people are going to think. As like, I know we're all grown and I know like we really shouldn't care what other people think. Who doesn't though? You know what I mean? Like, of course we care. Of course it affects us if we're not careful and if we're not freaking like up on ourselves, like, no, like this is for me, this is my life, I'm in this body, this is my movie, I don't want to be selfish and I don't want to be heartless, but I need to do things for me, then you will just spin that wheel. It's the time to do it. It's just affirming that like, yes, all of this is a new reality, but it ain't, and not but, it's so full of potential for whatever you're looking to create. Has everything here. It also has a lot of energy, this card, I want to say, of like spirit guides, spirit helpers, energetic helpers. And I've been doing some work with guides lately, but I've been working with just like my body, with like my own instinct or feelings or pains or whatever, and treating them truly like guides. Like I know that they're guides. I always am guided by my intuition, obviously, like that's what people do with intuition. But I mean, looking at it like it's a guide, like it's a guide. I hope that makes sense. All right. So our last little pile here. Let me take a sip of this like grape. Have you tried this one? It's very grapey. It's very dimetappy. It's like a flamin' mo, maybe. Actually, I probably shouldn't put that by the fire. All right, so we have the Tower now. Our last little story, right? Tower, what in your life has fallen apart? What has pieces? What has fragments? What has shit you have to clean up and step around? Are you looking at it? Are you looking where you're walking? Are you aware of how much actual shit really came down from that? And it's like, like real stuff you got to deal with. Come out of the subconscious. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, we play there all the time. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much. Aw, you're number one too. So cute. It's like saying to get back to reality. Like maybe if you're going there, maybe you've already gone there. Maybe you've like been in your feels. Maybe you've been in the veil. Maybe you felt numb. Maybe you've detached. It's weird. It's like a numb, but it's emotional at the same time. It's different. It's one of those things. It's hard to explain, isn't it? But it's like, come back, come out of it. All right, let's see what it is. All right, it's the Three of Wands in reverse. I feel like there's like a waiting in this card. Like it doesn't really feel like a journey, like, oh, I'm about to go. It feels like someone's kind of like returning and waiting and kind of like tending and calling something back. Like watching the horizon. It's saying stop waiting. Stop waiting. Stop. Know the difference between procrastination and processing, like try to find that sweet spot. It's pretty hard to do. But as in like, when you're in that and when you're procrastinating, it's really hard not to, isn't it? It's not the easiest thing to be like, oh my God, what am I doing? Let me get it together. Like sometimes we can do that. But in general, it's like, it's hard because it's really easy to rationalize, isn't it? It's really easy to say like, oh, but I'm going through all this. And it's like so true. It's so true. It's so freaking true. So like, I'm not saying that's not the reality, but like, what are you looking for? Like, you waiting for like the tower to come back, you're waiting for like, You're going to do it again, like the same way. Yeah, So it's just saying stop waiting. Like, stop waiting. You can do it now. Healing is interesting, right? It's a healer. I'm not crazy about the word because it feels disempowering. I don't want anyone to think that they need me to heal. They don't need me. I can be of help, but it's not like they need me. You know what I mean? And it's not like I'm the one doing the healing. Like, I'm just helping. I'm just helping and like holding space and like providing like neutral or positive, like healthy, vibrant energy to a field, right? It's not really like I'm the one doing it. And when we talk about healing, it makes us sound like we're broken. It's like, oh, I have to heal. Like, there's been so many times. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. There have been so many times over the past, like, I don't know, month or whatever, like that my whole life got turned upside down. Or I was just like, man, I'm gonna have to heal that. Oof, gonna have to heal that, Like, I just keep saying it, and then I'm like, fucking stop. Like, stop saying that. Just be like, my new thing is just saying like new normal, new normal, new normal, Does crying heal? Crying can be very healing, but it's not that it heal. It's movement. What's healing is movement. Flow is healing. That is where everything is key. Like, that's the key to energy work is flow. That's the key to your money. That's the key to love. It's flow. It's not gripping onto something. So crying creates movement. Crying releases. Like, it's physically these like watery, like, why the heck is this pouring out of my face? Why does this even happen? Like, why are we built this way kind of thing, So yeah, like, absolutely it leads to healing, or it's tied to it because it's like a purge, and you have to kind of let it go, like, let it really come out. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Tina. Our hearts are with you. Yeah, crying could be seen as energy and motion, I would say. Anything can be, your breath is, anything could be, really. All right. I'm like really tempted to eat my cantaloupe. I keep like looking at it. I'm like, I don't want to eat in front of people. But I'll just like hang out and answer some questions if anybody just wants to chat for a little while. It's like 11:22 right now. So I'm not going to stay up super late. I have stuff to do tomorrow. Thank you, Nikki. Just looking back. Yeah, you got to let it out for sure. Because like it ties into the law of rhythm. So like it's tricky, but like when you're crying or when you're upset or when you're just feeling terrible, whatever it is, if you're feeling that bad, you can trust and know that you will inevitably move the other way. It's like it can be momentum, to feel like crappy can. Thank you so much, Euphoria. Euphoria. Oh, how cute. Thank you so much. ASMR videos and live chats. Oh, love your ASMR videos and live chats. I hope your book went well. Oh, thank you. I have no idea how the book went. Like the Crystal Intentions book, I have no idea how it went. I haven't received any reports from the freaking place at all or anything. I'm curious. I hope so. I hope it was okay. I do have another writing project that I'm very excited about. I haven't talked about it on YouTube yet because I don't have anything to show yet. And I feel like that's like stupid for me to just talk about it. But it should be here within the next week, like the first, I don't know, it's like a thing that I'm doing. It's like a little zine. Do you think eating animal products causes energy blockages? This is a good topic, and I feel like I'm going to really offend some. I don't talk much about things that people have a lot of attachment to. I try to talk about things that are neutral, like anybody, no matter what your religion, what your political belief, for the most part, I don't know. Like, I try to talk about things that anybody can get kind of like pop spirituality, like not light, but just like anybody can kind of like chew on it for the most part, I personally do think sometimes that eating animals can cause energy blockages, but I don't think that eating meat necessarily causes energy blockages. I think that you can pray over your food and change the vibration of it or release anything that would cause the energy blockage. Like, I'm not going to argue whether eating animals is right or wrong, but I will share, I get asked a lot, like, if I'm vegan, and like, I'm not vegan. um, and in fact, I've actually been eating like more meat recently than I ever have or that I have in a long time because and I know this isn't the question, and this is probably like a personal share that I don't need to say, but I'm just going to say it. I have like a little bit of an eating disorder. It's not like a disorder where I purposefully don't eat because I want my body to look a certain way. I just like I lose my appetite really easily. Like, I'm very sensitive to smells and textures. I probably have like, some sensory processing going on or something. So if I don't eat for a while, I start to like really not get hungry, and then I get on this like loop of like restricting myself, but it's not intentional. It's kind of hard to explain. I'm sure other people probably know what it's like. It's like a nervousness, essentially. So if I find myself, I have to just eat because if I don't eat, then I start like, oh, I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, no, I don't want to eat that. So like, I have to just like be grateful for whatever I have and eat it. Like, that's just like a very healthy way for me to handle my food. So, um, I definitely have been vegan before for a long time. I was a vegetarian most of my life, like from when I was like 12 years old on. And I do have a lot of trouble eating meat, actually, like if I think about it too much. But I also just like make sure I pray and just, like thank and I'm just grateful, and I make sure to set intentions for like the food to like really nourish and like provide me with anything that I need and kind of go that way. Thank you so much, Anne. That's so nice of you. Blessings and love back to you as well. So I think it's more of like I think me eating mindlessly is more of an energy blockage, or eating resentfully, like, oh, I'm going to eat this, but this is bad for me, like that kind of thing. I don't think it's the actual food. I think it's the frequencies that it holds, if that makes sense. Thanks, Brad. Thank you so much. Super generous. Thank you. Do you guys get to pick the little caricatures that come out? Or you're like, oh, I didn't mean to say goal. I wonder. So yeah, I'll just read and see if there's any other questions. It's important. It's important to just like be appreciative, Like, I was like fucking snob about my water for so long. Be like, I don't want to drink that water. That water is not good enough. And I'm like, Jesus, no wonder I'm like getting ungrounded. Like, I have to be like, thank you, 365 spring water that I have no idea, whatever. I know this is not great, but like Florida, like, I don't know what else to do. You need to drink bottled water here. I mean, I did in New York too. Have I read the 4 Agreements? No, I have not read the 4 Agreements. I did see Frozen 2 yesterday. There was the 4 Elements. I'm forcing myself to eat an orange and enjoy it. First thing I've had all day. Yeah, like I just get like turned off from food. So I found that if I do eat in the morning, it's easier for me to like keep eating throughout the day. I know it's like, I don't talk about it because again, like people twist your words around like, oh, you're bulimic, you're anorexic. I'm like, no, it's different. It's a different thing. Look, I ate all this cantaloupe and I had a whole thing of this before that was full of papaya. I'm just going to eat one because it's like staring at me. Okay, let me get some questions. Do I teach tarot? No, but I am going to do one of my lesson sessions. Excuse me for having food in my mouth. I am going to do a lesson session on tarot, kind of. It's kind of going to be on like symbolism and go from there. It's not going to be this month, but the next month, February. And that's what my next, excuse me, sorry, it's like really watery. I'm doing this writing project. It's right now for just Patreon. It's basically a chapter of writing, like a chapter of writing with images. And it's kind of like a little zine. I've only done one so far. I haven't got it back yet. I'm writing the one for February now. Going great. But someone in Patreon had asked me if I would do a video on reading tarot. And honestly, like, it's more complicated. It's pretty complicated, but it's also pretty easy. You just have to keep practicing. I think that's the thing. Like, we always want to read a book like, oh, let me read a book on the runes and figure out how to do the runes. Like, I've read like at least 3 books on the runes, and I still can't like remember their names or remember what they are. But instead, like, when I use the runes, I just like put my hand over, I just pour them out and put my hand over it. Sometimes I like brush them away, and I just like let my intuition connect with it more, and kind of let the symbols like talk to me. Thank you so much, Jazz. Really thankful for all your videos. I'm thankful for you. Thank you for giving me a reason to make them. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. That's funny. We love Audrey Plaza. Okay. I love your Reiki videos. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, guys, for my quietness. I'm just scrolling through. How did I get into spirituality? I've made some videos on this before because I don't want to bore everybody with it. But I mean, I'm a Cancer, and I had a Cancer aunt who was like my best friend when I was little. And she's only 20 years older than me. So she was like young and cool, like a cool aunt with like cool, crazy hair. I love her so much. She's my mom's sister. And she was very witchy, very, not like witchy, like herby, more like cosmic, but also like ritualistic a little bit. Like, we would go to the ocean and like charge our candles. I know I say it all the time, but it's like one of my favorite memories. I had some cool experiences. But I'd say like my biggest kick back into spirituality was like when my mom died. And then I got pregnant like right after that. Hello in Orlando. Hello from Palm Beach County. Question I've had for a long time. Where do I get my earrings from? I get my earrings on Etsy mostly. These ones I got at a gem show, like a just gem and mineral show. But most of my earrings I get on Etsy, or I specifically follow shops on Instagram that I like. And like just buy shit from them all the time. Equinox Art is one of my favorites. I get like a lot of sword earrings and stuff from them. Yeah, it's Etsy. So like, excuse me. Just give me a sec. It's like super, it's gonna fall out of my mouth. But for like, I'm just a good shopper. Like, I just know how to like find stuff. All you gotta do is like go to Etsy and search chime earrings, dangly earrings, gemstone earrings, moonstone earrings, moonstone dangly earrings. Like, just like think of what you want or what you've seen that you like. Moon earrings, like whatever it is, and just type it into the search. Like, it's really easy. You gotta scroll. I'm a good scroller though. Like, I have like darting eyes and I know what I like, so I don't have to like take too long. Do I miss NYC? Yes and no. Like, I love Florida. I love the palm trees. I love the ocean. I live very close to the ocean. Like, I could walk there. It would be a walk though. It'd be like a good 20 or 30-minute walk, maybe even more. But like, that would be like to go walk to a bridge and then go over the bridge and go to the barrier island. Like, that's how long it would take me. I love the lizards. I love the flowers. I freaking love Florida. I love the crazy heat. Like, I like the humidity. I'm just into it. But I do miss like my friends in New York, and I miss the food in New York. I'm sorry to be a snob, but like the food in New York takeout is definitely better than the town that I live in's takeout. I have to go pretty far to get takeout here, but that's just where I am, I miss like that I could just spend the day in the city. Like, that's something that I think anybody who's lived in New York will like really miss when they leave, because I could just walk out of my house, get on a train, go to the ferry, take a ferry ride. It'd be like really pretty, and like you see the Statue of Liberty, and there's Brooklyn and Jersey City, and it's just like just a lot. It's very nostalgic. It has so much history. Like, it's just so clearly so ancient. Like, it's so filthy. They just build on top of muck, on top of muck, on top of grime. Like, you just picture gangs of New York, but like they just keep building on top of all the rats or something, you know? So there's like a gross charm to it in that way, you know? Like, you're like, oh, it's really old here. It's like, it's got a smell and everything, you know? But yeah, just like jumping on the train and the ferry, then like being in downtown, the financial district, and be able to go from there. Like, it's really magical to be able to do that. And it's just nice if you just don't have anything to do and you want to just get out. It's like nice to do that, you know? All right, let me see. Hi, Looney. Have you used your energy work / manifestation to aid in traditional medicine? I have to take daily medications. Yeah, you can. Yeah, Reiki and meditation and communicating to your body are very important when you're healing, because no matter what you need to heal, no matter if it's mental, physical, whatever, holistic will always be a better approach. You know, to take a holistic approach will always be more well-rounded and support you more. So there are things that you'd have to look at in your body and consider, like researching maybe like esoteric anatomy, if you know something specifically is going on with you, and go with that and try to heal that. Like, I've done that before for sure. And like, it worked, you know. I had all kinds of different stuff going on throughout my life in general. I'm just working on this now. It's a lot better looking, but it's like little dots now. Before it was much more red. So I'm hoping the dots clear soon. Sorry for eating. How do I decide if you pull a clarifying card? If you're just confused. If you're like, I don't get it. What does that mean? And just pull another card, you know, ask for clarity. They have bagels in Florida? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, the ferry. Living in Staten Island was always really funny because, like, if I went to Brooklyn, like, don't get me wrong, I love Brooklyn, but people can be so snobby, you know, just in general. And then I'd be like out at the bar, like drinking my drink, you know, like maybe my friend was like spinning or something and I was like out, and like you end up talking to someone and like you can tell they don't want to talk to you, but you're the only person there. So they start kind of like talking to you and they'll be like, oh, where are you from? You know, and you're like, Staten Island. And they're like, did you take a boat to get here? And you'd be like, yeah, it's a free boat. It runs all night and there's like a little bar on it. So it's really not that bad. It's beautiful. Thank you so much, Wave Zip. Does creative energy give you clarity? I have to think about that question. Does creative energy give you clarity? I think that they're separate in a sense. I think you could have clarity over what you're creating. And I think that flow, like if creative energy is creating, then it's outward energy and it's flow. And that does provide clarity, especially if it's like almost meditative. Like if you're painting something or if you're doing something and then you get like these light bulbs. Is that what you mean? Brothers Pizza. I freaking loved Hobra. My office was on Forest Ave, and I would get to like go to Hobra a lot. It's like kind of like an acquaintance of mine called Hobra. It's like a taco place. The Hollister of tacos or something like that, because it's like very bro, like it's not very authentic, I would say, but it's delicious. What camera do I use for filming? I would love to get a new one, but I use oh, my water. Come here, baby. This is what I use for filming everything. This little thing is what I use for filming everything. It's a Lumix LX10. Let me take off the thing. I really like it because it has aperture on the outside. It's easy to open, and then you can just like, hey. It's nice. It's really nice. And it's not $3,000. All right. I've been sitting with the friendship stuck in comfort. Wait, I'm sorry. Let me start this over because I'm just messing it up already. Okay, Brad. Thank you. Go. I love it. Okay. I had been sitting with the friendship in the comfort and realized as I was with her New Year's Eve, I don't want to do it anymore. She's local. People don't want you to waste their time. Like, it's better to just say, I'm really busy or whatever. And then, like, just don't waste people's time. That's so much more insulting than, like, having to call it quits in some way, you know? What are my thoughts on Reiki online courses? I did a whole video on this as well. It was called, like, Working as a Healer or something like that. I think if you're talking about an online course that is like there's no engagement and you're just kind of like going through a thing or like just watching videos or something, I think if it's very inexpensive, it's a good thing to do because you'll get to get a taste for it. But I don't think I know anybody, and I'm not judging, but I don't think I know anybody who's like gotten their Reiki certification like on something like Udemy, and I'm not knocking Udemy. I'm just saying I don't know anybody who's gotten their Reiki through Udemy and now works as a practitioner. If you were just like dabbling for yourself and you want to test it out and it's like very inexpensive, I think that's cool, but I don't know anybody who can like come out of that and be like, yeah, I'm ready for clients. Sure. I guess I did that. I guess I know what I'm doing now, like that kind of thing. I'm not saying it couldn't. I don't know anyone personally. I teach online, but I teach where it's like live. So like I'll send a video for the introduction, but then it's like a 2-hour. It used to be a 2-hour one-to-one call. Now it's a 4-hour group call that I do. So it's like multiple people can be there. And attunement distance is great. It's really nice to be in person. Don't get me wrong, but like distance attunements are amazing. Okay. Hello. Okay. Do I do private readings? Sometimes, but honestly, like anything I ever offer will always be on my website. And if it's just not on my website, then like I'm not offering it at this time, basically. Yeah, someone just said like they got their Reiki through Udemy, but they're not working it. And that's the difference that I see. I don't think that you can't do it. I've just never seen anyone do it. Am I gonna stay in Florida? I really would love to. My ultimate dream is to just own multiple places. Like, and I don't mean like be like some mogul necessarily. Could you imagine? But I would love to and get to a point, I'm not there yet, where I don't even own this house. You know what I mean? Like I don't own a house. This is the first time I've ever even just like in ages like had like space, you know what I mean? Like it's been a really long time. But I would love to own places in multiple places. And yes, like Southern California, Colorado, and maybe Florida or somewhere kind of like beachy like this area would be one of my top ones. All right, I'm gonna go back for what does full moon in Cancer mean for Cancer? It doesn't mean anything for us. I mean, it means that we're getting hit hard. That's what it means. It doesn't mean necessarily like anything specific, but the fact that this full moon in Cancer is also an eclipse and we have, I don't remember, like 6 or 7 or 8 like freaking planets and stuff. The South Node, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, and like something else. We have all this stuff in Capricorn, and it's like right across from the Cancer full moon. So it's like this little moon over here and like all this stuff. And I think Cancers might be feeling it a lot. And I think we might be beating ourselves up a lot. And I feel like we might feel attacked. But I don't think that's because of the full moon in Cancer. I think that's the opposition of all this Capricorn stuff. And for all of us, it's making us really like unscrew the plug, like wash it all out, clean it all out, trim what we need to trim, like repot, put it back on the windowsill or put it in a different place or something. It's like asking us to really clean and redevelop and let go of a lot of stuff, but that's not just for Cancerian people. Sorry, it's hard. I'm sure I'm not getting everybody. It's hard for, should we face fear if we don't feel ready? Well, when would we feel ready? When are you going to feel ready? I think you should give yourself time always. But if you're like, oh, now it's feeling stagnant, or now you're feeling stuck, or now people like have to check in on you and stuff, I would say it's like face your fear, like rip off the Band-Aid. Yeah, house in the country and apartment in the city. That's totally what I want. I want like apartment in Denver or like somewhere cool, maybe Montreal or Vancouver or something. I don't know who Benito Massaro is. I don't know who that is. I'm sorry. I have neutral thoughts about Teal Swan. I don't dislike or heavily like, like I don't watch a lot and I don't dislike at all. I think that she's very well spoken and she seems weird, like from one weirdo to another. You know what I mean? And yeah, like I don't have an opinion. Any experience with hypnosis? Guys, I'm so sorry I'm eating this, but like it's like just calling to me. Hypnosis. It's funny because I just made a lesson session about the subconscious and I talked about hypnosis, but hypnosis is, in my opinion, useful for supporting action. It's useful for supporting a mind frame to start to take some kind of action. So there's different hypnosis, right? There's hypnosis that is like something to better yourself. Like, I'm going to be goofy, but like quit smoking or get healthy, like that kind of stuff. But there's other hypnosis that is like past life regression or like deep hypnosis or like Dolores Cannon level, like higher soul hypnosis and stuff. And so they're different, right? I don't really think that hypnosis, as in like hypnotherapy, is effective in a long-term thing. Like, I don't think that hypnosis works long-term. I think it can put you into a headspace and then a body in motion stays in motion and you can kind of keep going, like kind of like a little boost or whatever, like a little jumper cable situation. But I don't think that it's like very effective long-term. And then for like deep hypnosis, I do have a little experience with it because one of my friends is trained in that. But I don't enjoy being hypnotized. I feel like very vulnerable and I don't know. I don't like being hypnotized. I think it's like weird. Honestly, I just don't like it. Okay. Tarot attract non-good entities? ? I did a reading to connect with ancestors to see if there were blockages in the family line, but after the reading, I felt a weight on my back. Then I cleaned my space. Was the weight ominous? Was it an ominous weight? Wonder if it was. What if it was like a hand on your back? What if it was support? Tarot doesn't attract non-good entities. Intentions do, like being too open does. Like if you're doing a ritual or a reading to connect with ancestors or spirit guides or anything that's like truly in the beyond that is of another consciousness. So you can do a tarot reading and not necessarily need to like super protect your space if you're just like, I want to connect with my higher self, or I want to connect with higher intelligence, or I want to whatever, like from there. But then when I'm working with something that has consciousness, so like ancestor consciousness or spirit guide consciousness or ascended masters or whatever, something that has its own like ego or personality, I would only invite like, so when I call in guides, right, I'm like, of the highest vibration of love and benevolence and support. Like I always include that because it's like vampire rules. You just got to like make sure you put the requirements down, but it doesn't sound like anything bad is there. Okay. If you're a Cancer, you're born in June, right? So, yeah, somebody already answered, but yeah, late June to like late July. Google is good. Okay. Oh gosh, I missed a bunch. Okay. What can a newbie do to learn Reiki skills? You basically just take Reiki 1, and then it's so simple. You take Reiki 1, then you take Reiki 2, if you want to, then you take Reiki 3. And if you want to be a teacher, then you take the Reiki Master Teacher level, which is after Reiki 3. Reiki 3 is the master level, but the Master Teacher level is Reiki like 3.5. So you just find a teacher that you like. I actually have a Reiki class coming up February 22nd. It's remote, so we're going to use Zoom so we can all talk. Would you say twin flame relationships can potentially be abusive if the couple isn't more evolved? I don't know. I have an unpopular opinion on twin flames, so I don't really talk about them, but like, I don't have a twin flame relationship. I've never experienced a twin flame relationship, so I'm not really the person to like talk about them as any kind of authority, but I just don't really believe in them. Like, every time I hear people talk about twin flame, it sounds so uncomfortable, I'm like, I think that people can be like catalysts. I think that there can be fire, like between people, but I don't think that I have to call that my twin flame, it makes it, I don't know. I don't have that. I don't have that experience though. So I'm not trying to sound like a snob or anything. If I'm feeling under the weather, how do you re-energize to perform a Reiki session? I would cancel. If I really didn't feel good or if I felt off at all, I would reschedule the appointment and just trust that like people understand that like I have to be good for me to be able to do it. So where's Bamba? Bamba was here, I thought. So I would just cancel and then like reschedule with someone basically. Excuse me. Oh, I need moderators and I really hate doing this. Okay. How does one cut energetic ties and heal from a narcissistic parent? And is that even possible? Yeah, my suggestion there is to bypass your parents as your parents, especially if you have like a narcissistic parent, I guess. So like let me rephrase. Basically, you have people parents that are human and they might be great, but they might also be kind of fucked up. They might be narcissists. They might be abusive. They might be immature. They might be just on a whole different level than you and you can't even talk to them. Like anything. Your parents can be anything and anyone because you know what? This is human. This is human life, They're not perfect. They teach you stuff. Even the bad ones teach you the best stuff, kind of. Like it's not a good experience, but it's a good lesson. So it's good to get to that point to be okay with it. But then when you're meditating or when you're connecting with your parents or when you feel like you want to connect with that feeling of support from like father, mother, just connect with like God and Mother Matter, like go beyond your parents and connect with the archetypal parents who have no fault, who are all loving, who are completely abundant and are divine, because that's what we're looking for. I don't know, right? Like, I don't know if you guys ever read any of like the Stitchin books, or you did any like knowledge research on um, on topics that are like how people came to be. And there's a story, and I'm gonna get the names wrong, so don't come to me for names. I'm not good at it. But basically, that there was, oh God, I'm going to mess it all up. So I'm not really going to say any names at all, truly. Not even the planet name, because I forget. But basically, there was a planet whose outer, like, ozone was dying, and they found out that they could use gold and turn it into a dust and like shoot it up in the ozone, and it would rebuild. So they came to Earth, supposedly, allegedly, to mine the ore here because we had so much gold. And they were here for ages, and they were giants. And they were first doing the work, but then they started creating people to do the work for them. And first they made like kind of genderless ones, I guess, or something like that, ones that couldn't reproduce. And then like somehow like ones that were able to reproduce came along by virtue of like another of the alien giants giving them the ability to. But basically, where I'm going with this, I'm not trying to convince you of any of this. I just mean like it's interesting. I love thinking about this stuff. Essentially though, like from that perspective, we were created to worship. So if any of that like just sounds tasty to chew on, if humans were created in some weird way to like worship, because it was like, and it's documented in all these different ways, but like the gods left, they were done. They got the gold that they needed and they left. And then that's when people started kind of building these like religions because they needed to worship. Where the hell am I going with this? Does anybody remember? So when we talk about like worshiping and stuff, it's just funny because it's like we're kind of built to worship. Sorry, I forget what question I was even answering there. Let me see if I can find it. Shit. Archangel. Oh yeah, okay. So like, thank you, Cork. So like, when our parents, when we're little, they're like God, like they are. Like, I'm not saying they're perfect, but to us, they're like there's like this force. They like control the light, like they tell us when to go to bed. They tell us what we're eating, like that kind of stuff. So it's like we have this desire or this like just thing kind of built in to like worship and kind of put power like outside of ourselves and look to some kind of perfection. But it's funny because like the gods or the giants or whatever that Stitchin talked about, they weren't perfect at all. They had quite like they had personalities, so it's very hard for us when there's a disconnection from a parent, when there was a bad relationship with a parent, or any stress at all, because that's like we're looking for this thing to worship. But like if we're and I don't really worship anything, like don't get me wrong, but when you go beyond and go to like the cosmic father and mother matter, and the matter and spirit are always like reaching for each other, and you're just this point of like matter and spirit like coming together, like what, and how cool, how beautiful, and what a beautiful expression of like divine love and creation, so that helps me to like heal my parental stuff. Sorry about the alien stuff there. I feel that my energetic tie with my best friend is fading, and there's no particular reason behind it, but I feel like the energy has been off. Bye-bye. Yeah, that is tough. I lost like a really, really, really important friendship of my own a few years back. It was really tough, and I felt it coming. But you know what? If you feel it coming, just like bow out, because the way mine ended, I felt it coming too. And then the way it ended was like so bad. It was so bad. Like, heartbreaking. Ah, okay. I'm done with my cantaloupe. I seriously ate 2 of those today. A papaya one. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, okay. Going fast. Yeah. My relationship with my parents, scrolling, is far from perfect. I get you. It's tough. Late to the party. What is the esoteric understanding of bad and evil in the world? It is stagnation. That is the esoteric definition of evil. It's stagnation. Being restricted, being held still, not moving. Because we talked about it, how like flow is everything. So evil is not. Because like everything else, like good and evil, it's all perspective based. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm human. Rape is evil, like, and it scares me. And I don't like walk my dog at night because of shit like that. You know what I mean? So like, I'm not out here trying to say like, who's to say, man? Like, who are you to judge? Like, I don't mean that at all. But from a universal perspective, from like the highest point of consciousness, there is no good and evil. It's like, it's all connected always. So I don't know, but stagnation, basically. Do you honestly think life forms so advanced they can travel space and create living beings? Yeah, I do. I do believe that. Totally. How do you reconcile homosexuality with cosmic father? I don't understand the question. I'm sorry. How do I reconcile? Sorry. I don't get the question. I'm sorry. I just might not be clicking for me. Sorry. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, man. I don't think that like aliens are like coming. I feel like I don't think that we can call it alien. It's like just like this. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it, I guess. um, is it true that tonight, because of the eclipse, it's not recommended to read cards or make a ritual, only manifesting things? I don't know. I don't really play by any rules like that. If I want to do a ritual, what I think we should all do is clearing. I think we should be very open to clearing. Picture like the freaking moon, the eclipse, like a portal, and all that Capricorn stuff just like sucking shit out or moving it out of the way. Just like release, like set intentions for release, for feeling, and going from there. Is it true that tonight? Okay, I read that one. Fluoride in the water, same anti-anxiety. Yeah, I try to avoid fluoride, but it definitely is a lot here. The water smells super weird where I am. You can find a Reiki teacher. The question is, if taking Reiki online is not the way to go, where else does one go to do it? If you can find, most importantly, I really believe that you should resonate with your Reiki teacher, because that is just so important. There's such a, it's like Reiki is a lineage based practice, a healing art modality. So you really want to connect with your teacher. If you don't connect with your teacher, it typically ends up fostering this doubt and this like, oh, I didn't like or like, it's almost like if somebody gave you a gift, but like you didn't like the person, or they like rubbed you the wrong way, and you'd be like, oh, I kind of wanted this, but like now I don't want it because like they gave it to me. So like, let me, you know what I mean? So the most important thing you should do is just find a teacher that you really resonate with. And you can do it remotely. You can do it online. You just should connect with a teacher. Like there should be a teacher that you're working with. Did having a child give you clarity or confidence more in your abilities? I feel like for me, I really had a desire to become a mother, and it was a very strong focus of manifestation for me for a while. So just feel like when it happened, it was like I could finally move on to the ninth cup kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like the card reading we were doing, like it was like something that I needed to experience, and I'm still experiencing it, like every day I learn more about my son and like connect with him in different ways, and he's like growing so much and becoming so cool and smart and stuff. So like it's ongoing, right? But it just like made me go to the next thing. I guess I don't know if it provided clarity. If anything, it made things more confusing probably. Thank you guys. How do you perceive multiple dimensions? That's kind of hard to explain, but like honestly, personally, feeling is more of a way to do it, like vibration. Focus on like a feeling in your body, how do I say this? Connect with something simple yet divine, like love or like gratitude or like wonder or appreciation or something like that, or like optimism. I don't know. Connect with that kind of feeling and just hold it in yourself and like channel it out through you, and you'll start to see how your vibration changes. And if you practice doing things like that to raise your vibration, the other pieces of you, the other subtle pieces of you will start to more easily connect with those vibrations, which essentially are the different dimensions, to the best of my ability to explain. That's not really my specialty area though, so I'm not How would you suggest a non-spiritual person approach the kind of spiritual conduct? Yeah, obviously. You don't have to believe in anything that I say, and I try to say that all the time. Like, I'm not trying to prove shit or facts or anything. If something makes you feel good or it makes you think, that's all, right? You don't have to believe, but you can, if you wanted to get something out of it, you could just say, I'm open to getting something out of this. I'm just hiding people because they annoy me. Okay. Someone said, I realized I'm sent here. I didn't ask for this. We all signed up for this. I feel like we all signed up for this. It's like one of those things that, believe me, like earlier today, I'm like, why would I sign up for this? So it's not like I don't empathize at all. But all right. What's my best piece of advice for someone who has so much chaos going on in lives and feel depleted? I would say the best piece of advice would be to try to pinpoint a domino that you can hit that will start knocking other things into place. And a good way to do that from an energy work perspective is like just learn how to check your energy points, like your chakra points and stuff, and check them once in a while, like not every day. Check them like once a week, or just when you notice a pattern or a feeling that you have that just like doesn't let up, and do one thing at a time. You kind of have to identify what the big thing is, and not even the big thing, but like what's one thing you can identify to work on. And as you do, again, like there's momentum, so other things start to fall into place. It's all connected. I'm glad you feel not so lonely on this otherwise gloomy, rainy night. That's what I was looking for too. Just want to say my North Node is Scorpio. Oh, good. That's great, Emma. It's inherent in most humans, not minimizing empaths, but feeling like it starts to turn. Yeah, I feel for empaths. Like, don't get me wrong, and I'm not judging anyone. We're all using language to the best of our ability. Thank you, Nadas. I hope I'm saying that right. Thank you so much. That's super generous. Essentially, the word empath can be very disempowering. There's like the sponge concept, like, oh, I'm a sponge. Oh, I'm too sensitive. Like, I get it. I'm sensitive too. And I'm like, no. Like, my friend was like, oh, do you want to go to the Renaissance fair? And I didn't reply to her yet, but I have to be like, no, that's way too much for me. I don't want to go to a Renaissance fair. I'm not like that. Like, I don't, it's too much for me. I get like, I'm not, I'll just complain. Nobody wants to go to a Renaissance fair with me. You know what I mean? So, I don't know where I was going with that, but just empaths and being sensitive. Like, if it's a disempowerment, then being sensitive is a strength, but you have to empower that sensitivity. Otherwise, it will mush you around, Thank you for helping a high anxiety guy chill. Thank you. Thank you for helping me. What would my first step be as a Reiki master to open my own practice? You should to open your own practice, do a lot of free ones, which is what you should first do. Get the experience. Once you get the experience, and not a lot of free ones, but do some free ones, try to work with people you haven't worked with before. Like, don't get me wrong, like, our friends and family play a big part in helping us get the experience in the beginning, but to work with other people and get feedback from other people and just see all of that, probably a better way to go. And you can also work remotely and just do distance sessions at first too, because then you don't have to have an office and put that whole expense in. Because Reiki, usually people find you from like word of mouth, it's not very advertisable. Like, you can say you do it and put yourself out there, but it's not like a Groupon kind of thing. You know what I mean? What I'm trying to say there? So word of mouth is the best way to go. And also make sure that you have a presence. Be generous as well. Like, share what you're passionate about, share things that are supportive to people, and just start doing that. And then the universe will provide you with other ways to start supporting people, and that might lead you to opening your own practice. How I feel I'm stuck with my spiritual journey. How can I space it up and evolve in a way? I feel like life just provides you with stuff. I would say, fine, if you're open, are you studying anything now? You know what I mean? Like, it's good to find what speaks to you at the moment, whether that's astrology or symbolism or aliens or healing art or breath work or esoteric anatomy or polarity therapy or Chinese medicine, traditional time, whatever it is. Like, just whatever speaks to you the most, just start investing and like diving into it. You can't like do everything at once. I'm sure you know that. So it's good to dive deeper into the things that you find speak to you on a passionate level, because they'll change. You'll go to do something different eventually, but it's nice to go that way. Excuse me. Whoa, okay. Sorry, I just got... Do I think weed can help to bring epiphanies? Yes, maybe. I mean, it depends on a person's disposition. I guess it depends on the strain, the genus, Do I recommend doing each Reiki level with a different teacher? Also, thoughts on $10,000 for mastery is crazy. I charge like $385 for my master level, and then there's the teacher level, but that's kind of a lot. That's a little steep. Well, crap, ever since I came, stagnation. Yeah, PAs kind of, I love Pennsylvania. I love Philly. Philly's like one of my favorite cities in the world. I love Philly. Yeah, trade is good if you're starting a business. That's a good way to do it too. I'm good. Thanks for asking. Any advice or reading recommended for working with procrastination or goal setting and resilience? I think you just have to find what works for you or what your body clock is like when it comes to procrastination and stuff. So, like, I'm very moon based. I'm a Cancer. I'm very ruled by the moon and the sun. And excuse me. So I find that wherever the sun is, like right now, the sun is in Capricorn, has a big effect on me. It has a big effect on everybody. And where the moon is, right now, the moon is in Cancer, has a big effect on me. And I know that when the moon is in Cancer, have a journal and notice like when you feel most procrastinating and when you feel most mushy and when you feel and when you feel most energized. And like I know I feel most energized during like Aries, Gemini, Virgo, Capricorn sometimes, not all the time though. And I just like pay attention to that kind of stuff and specifically like try to plan my schedule as best as I can. So like when there's days where I know I'm just not going to be able to get a lot of work done because just where I'm at, I'll just try to stick with it. Does that make sense? I don't know how to speak Spanish, bro. You keep asking me and I keep not reading it because I just don't know and I'm sorry, but I don't know. I would love to learn. My dad actually bought a house in Spain recently. Okay, just going back. Smoking on cookies and cream wedding cake flame. Cool. I have some CB diesel upstairs. Florida has really nice medical marijuana system compared to New York and New Jersey anyway. As a mental health practitioner, I can appreciate the way you approach offering guidance with such compassion, validation, and acceptance. How do you see the relationship between mental health and energy healing? Well, the major premise of energy healing is all is mind. So, mental health and energy healing, I mean, there's more to it than that. There's channeling, obviously, and all different things. But one of the most powerful healer is the mind, is the belief, is hope, is a will to live, you know? So, the relationship is strong. Not always reflective of one another, though, because I've had really like crazy mental health. Sorry, don't mean to be derogatory, but like I've had very intense mental health things come up and energetically have still felt very good, you know, and like I've done some energy work, but I really didn't need the energy work. Whereas it could be the opposite, but I definitely think that they go in very well together because again, it's holistic, you know, and I think that it can provide some time. They complement each other so nicely because they have a little bit of like accredited you know, like doctor kind of level kind of connection and then this like metaphysical kind of connection. So it supports both sides of the brain, you know, like for a massage. I think it's okay to do your own cacao ceremony. I honestly don't know about cacao ceremonies. When I did it in Costa Rica before, they would just basically had a prayer that they said for the cacao and like a way to drink it. Are there any chakras that help with infertility or to balance, if that makes sense? Well, it's not really. I'd say I guess the chakras connected. Most would be the heart, the sacral, maybe the crown, maybe, you know, maybe the root could be. It depends on, you know, what is inside of us that is preventing or blocking a little bit of what we're trying to manifest, if it is, to become a parent. So the heart really, like, it's just like manifesting. If like manifesting with infertility is so possible. And if your doctor says there's nothing physically going on, you can do it. You know what I mean? Like, as like, clearly there are some things that need support through, or some kind of intervention or assistance. But not intervention, I'm sorry. I hope you know what I'm trying to say. But if it's not a physical situation, it's more than of the stress. Like, it just comes in with stress. Like, this infertility brings so much stress to women or people who want to have children. And we start manifesting from a place of like, oh, I want to get pregnant. I want to get pregnant. I want to get pregnant. And that's not really it. Like, it's not that you want to get pregnant. You want to be a parent. So you should be manifesting from a place of envisioning, like, taking your kids to the movies and making them lunch and buying them presents. And what do you do on the holidays? Like, being a parent more, being there for them when they cry, figuring out like how you're going to teach them about the big bad world and the big good world and all that stuff, and just stay on that kind of level. How do you suggest working with root trauma? It feels like a psychic bruise. Usually, from my experience, the root is connected to, obviously the earth, but very often our parents, very often how we felt supported or how we were taught to release anger. So if there's anger in that area, you probably want to work on that. If there's fear, you want to work on that and go from there, basically. Oh my gosh, there's so many more. Sorry, I got stuck. Okay. The love of my life passed away 6 years ago, and I'm feeling very stuck. You have to honor, I mean, that's such a tiny piece of information, so don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but just doing my best here. Focusing on, I guess I have questions for you. It's like, if the love of your life passed away 6 years ago, feeling very stuck, do you mean stuck without them? Or do you mean stuck, like, as in, like, can't move on, like that kind of thing? Stuck on them? Or stuck and without a person? Does that make sense, Is your left hand ring from Etsy? Left hand. This one is my grandmother gave it to me. My grandmother used to be very plump, like a very big grandma, like a cutie, freaking delicious chef grandma. And she lost a lot of weight because she got thank you, Brave Your Light XO. To you too. My grandmother lost a lot of weight because she had throat cancer. So she couldn't eat solid foods anymore. That's why you should always be detached, because my grandmother was such a foodie, and now she hasn't eaten in probably like 10 years. She hasn't eaten food in 10 years, like solid food. She just Vitamixes everything. Anyway, so she lost a lot of weight, and then she got this for her wedding ring, but she gave it to me the last time I saw her because I think she thinks she's going to pass. So she gave me this ring, and I love it, and I wear it sometimes. This one is a star sapphire, which is from Etsy. Okay. Is there a relationship between constipation and energy chakras? Yeah, for sure. Being constipated is definitely not movement, It could be holding on to things for too long. It could be not processing things well. Hey, Kim, how's it going? Happy New Year. How do I feel about ayahuasca? Would I take part? I would, but like I'm kind of over tripping at this point for a while. I don't know. I'll figure. I don't have any desire to do it right now, but I'm sure that I will one day in my life. Aw, I'm sorry to hear that. Much love to your grandma too. Significant. Does soul retrieval happen through art? I guess it could. No, my grandmother doesn't smoke. Best ways to manifest love in your life. Find love in your life, like everything. Like I love that cantaloupe. I love this kombucha. I love the sun. I love the way the clouds look when they do that. I love the smell of this. Like just keep like finding new things, to love. Like draw your attention to it and you'll be in alignment then. Or it's one way. I mean, I'm sure there's more to it than that. Okay. Do you ever consider getting more vocal about politics, like sharing your opinions? Honestly, no, not on this channel, not on my Instagram. Probably a hard no because I really want the channel to be a reprieve, and just be a place where we don't have to talk about that. And I know that I know that can come off a bit ostrich-like or a bit like not facing something, but I feel like it's really important to have these oases, these spaces for us to focus on what we want and not like, I don't know, like draw stressful. The world is so stressful and you're inundated constantly with like the choices you have to make, the political climate, the media, so much. Like I really want to just create like conscious media that doesn't really go into that stuff because I want it to be like a place to catch your breath, if that makes sense. Thank you, Maritza. Martitza. That's such a beautiful name. You are the realist girl. Peace and love. Thank you. Thank you. Being real is important to me. All right. How do you word the feeling you get from direct eye contact with someone you're still learning to love? I have no idea. I'm not that intimate, I guess. Thank you for all the healing. Aw, thank you so much. No, I don't do daily tarot right now. I want to set this room up so I can stream better. Like I know this isn't a great setup right now, but I just wanted to kind of get started. But I'd love to do more like live things and little like those are easier to do live because then it's like I don't want to make 30 videos a month. Like I'll burn out on that. Like I know that I won't sustain that. So I wouldn't want to promise that. I actually did the readings earlier in the video. So when I like hang up, it'll load and it'll take a moment, but can you mix Buddhism and Reiki with Christianity? I don't know, girl. Can you? Or sir? I'm sorry. It was just I can't see the picture and I shouldn't have just guessed, but you can do anything you want. Reiki is not like denominational, and there's non-denominational Christianity, Is the law of attraction satanic? No. My grandmother's not lost. She's in New Jersey. Is there any stones we can use for the full moon? You can't sleep. Howlite, grounding stones, moonstone, maybe black moonstone, probably would be great. Right now I'm not doing 1-to-1, but I will do it again. Right now, I just keep updating my website with what's available, what I'm offering. And I am teaching classes and I have some events, but I'm not really doing one-to-one stuff right now. I think I just really need to focus on myself, honestly, and like the one-to-one takes up so much time and so much energy, and I love it. Like, I truly love it. I'm not complaining, but I just know, like, in my heart and in my gut, like, I know I really need to like preserve some. I have to like hold this space open, kind of, if that makes sense. So I don't want to overdo it. No, I've never heard of like Arcadia. Hey, Alchemy of Life. Jillian, I believe it's important to take a break from deep, deep knowledge and come up for air and relax. Hell yeah. Yeah, whatever that looks like, whether that's freaking binging on Teen Mom or just going and just enjoying the moment of like going out in nature, or like whatever that looks like. I'm come from the United States. Definitely, because you need the, like, again, like the breath, and you need to get grounded. And sometimes it can be, when you're going like so deep, the dangerous stuff about like spirituality, if there is a danger, is it's like going too far too fast, kind of like going submerging in water too fast, or going up too high too fast, or something. I don't know. It's like it can become so much that it disconnects you from like your life. And that might be what you want. Like if you were taking some kind of sabbatical or some kind of like really immersive spiritual approach, sure, people can do that, obviously. But for like the day-to-day people, like the day-to-day life, like doing it here and still existing, I don't know, all of that. Like I think we absolutely need breaks from like the discipline approach and all of that. I've actually done a video already on antidepressants and the connection with like spirituality and stuff. I've done like a whole video on that before. I've been told, but yeah. It's hard to find the right medication. If you're on like antidepressants, there's certainly ones that don't work with everyone, for sure. For sure, like big time. So if you feel like you're not yourself, maybe you want to try to talk to your doctor about it. But that is like that can be very intense. Like I know many people who have been on antidepressants who needed to change their medication, and it was like a whirlwind for them, and I'm not trying to make it sound fearful or scary or anything, but like just to be mindful and like be careful, when you do that. All right. Thank you. Why did I move? New York is crowded. It is so overpopulated in Staten Island. It's crazy. It's like the suburbs of the city, or it's like a suburbs of the city. But when I would come home at like 6 o'clock, I lived in like a house. Like it wasn't my house, but I lived in a house, and I'd still have to park like blocks away from the house just to park my car. Like that's how crowded it is. Could you imagine just like being in the suburbs but still having to park around the block? Like it's like streets. Like it's not like city streets, It's crowded there. I don't like it. I don't like being crowded. I don't like the potholes. It's so dumb, but it just like wears on my nerves. I just really needed a change. And Florida is awesome because there's no federal, no, I'm sorry. There's no state income tax, which is great. And it's cheaper to live out here renting anyway and stuff. And like properties are cheaper. So I wouldn't have been able to buy something or even get this kind of place, like something this big. Not like this is huge, but like it's way bigger than anything I've had before. So, it just was a better fit for me. Sorry, Olivia. I don't know what you mean thoughts about breath work. Breath work is, I don't really do it personally a lot. I just try to do it with intention as I'm doing like my sessions and stuff. But I'm trying to think of, I have a great book on breath work. I just cannot remember the name of it. It's by Yogi, not Panchadasi, but something, I can't remember, but it's, I'll have to actually go like look it up and share it on like my Instagram stories or something because I can't remember the name of it. Brooklyn feels, yeah, the mountains. I want to live in the mountains. That's really where I wanted to move. And then I went to Costa Rica and I was like, oh shit, the tropics are dope. I love the tropics. I love the like moisture. I'm like a salamander, you know. I need it to be like warm enough for my cold blood. How can you overcome a strong feeling of resentment at the universe or God or whatever? And is relationship with him or whatever higher power reflective of your original caretakers treated you? I don't know. I guess it depends. Like it's very person. That's a very personal question, like unique to the person. I mean, I think you have to focus on just like what you appreciate, you know, like look at a sunflower or a snail or whatever makes you happy. Fucking those people who have been waking up their bunny by putting dill all around him. I was like crying into my salad thinking about that bunny like just munching on the dill. I was like, oh, it's still good in the world, you know, like that kind of thing. You have to just, there's like a mental discipline of focusing on the good, and it's all about perspective, which can potentially lead to the support of feeling more comfortable with God because you are God, you know? It's like you hate yourself kind of thing, or you resent yourself, or you resent that you signed up for this, or whatever it is, you know? And just work to like heal it. Oh, cool, Korik. Oh yeah, we talked about it. It was like that big ass like white book that I had. I'll try to send the sun and warmth to Wisconsin. I'm pretty close to the beach. I'm about like I'd have to, it'd be a walk, but it's fun. Yeah, you left New York because of traffic and horn honking. That's another great reason. It's so loud. Like I'm in the freaking suburbs and it's loud AF outside all the time. Oh, it's windy. I just heard like a crazy wind. Miami, hit up the Everglades. Yeah, I want to check out the Everglades actually. I'm just afraid to see all the gator stuff. Like the dead ones or something. Like the gift shop gators. I don't want to see them. The book is The Science of Breath. Thank you. Yeah, Yogi Ramacharaka or something. Thanks, Korik. That's the book I would recommend on breath work. It's really good. Cancer Sun, Aries Moon. That's us. Yeah, that I feel like that one's really helpful. It's like basic, but like basic as in you're like, oh yeah. But like it really clicks, you know? All right. All right. It's about 12:37 here. I have a Reiki live stream tomorrow, share tomorrow at 12 for Patreon. So I want to make sure that I'm rested enough. Are you guys ready to spark a bowl in the chat? I have a beautiful bong, guys. It's quite beautiful. And I just picked up from Midman today. That's my spot. And I do want to go do a little bit of a ritual for myself for, again, I feel like this eclipse is a lot about purging, a lot of releasing, a lot of like releasing the judgment, the criticism, and whatever's holding us back from like defining what that the 9 cups is. And if it is the lovers, if it is love, like, do we feel wimpy for saying that? Is that like too much to ask for? Is that like, are we afraid of it? Like, what is it, you know, to like work on that? Oh, that's awesome. I didn't realize that things were legal in Illinois. Yeah, it's funny. I can't even talk about this sometimes because people really love to tell me I shouldn't do stuff. I get so many people that are like, I wish you wouldn't talk about that. Like, oh. I had an individual kind of recently in Instagram tell me that I sounded self-absorbed. I love your videos. It like starts off like I love your channel, something like that. And then it's like, but I feel like your stories, you sound very self-absorbed. And like, again, I'm sorry that like those things get to me, but like they do get to me because I'm like, who am I supposed to talk about in my stories? Like, aren't stories supposed to be just like whatever you want, you know? Who am I going to put in it? What am I going to do? Hey, Jillian. Hope your family are good in Florida. Thank you. We're good. I do have Instagram. It's 90% of people are like, thank you for sharing that because I'm going through that too, you know? And I hate to even bring it up because like I don't want to shine the energy onto like the complaining people, but it's just the criticism is so bizarre. Like you put yourself out there, like you understand like you're going to be criticized, and that's why a lot of people have a problem putting themselves fucking out there, you know? It's hard to hear stuff. Is your one eyebrow higher than the other? Oh, you look tired. Oh, blah blah blah, your depression. You shouldn't. It's just like, I wasn't asking for an opinion, and I know you're allowed to have them, but like, is that what we're really focused on here? Not really, you know? Sativa during the day and indica at night. For whatever reason, they don't really have a lot of indica at the MedMen that I go to. I think that Florida's still working on their laws, but it's still pretty good. Aw, prayers for your dad. Prayers for your dad. I've definitely done videos on anxiety. That's another thing, like, I get a lot of requests for videos, but honestly, like, if you just type in, like, Lunate anxiety, you'll find the ones that you're looking for, or, you know, hopefully, or crystal, or whatever it is, you know? So you can probably search it. Like I said, I have, like, over 300 videos on my channel. That's a lot. I think that's a lot. Do I find that weed helps me recall dreams, but then can also make dreams less vivid? Yeah. I don't feel like weed is good for dreams. Like, I don't think that they support each other very well. Although I do have a sleepy tincture. It's like a Z's state made or something. Indica like tincture. And that one I have pretty nice dreams on, or like I remember my dreams and stuff from that. But it's not I don't think that overall weed supports dreams and dream recall in general. Is it normal for new people to think your name is Luna Nate? Sometimes they think it's, or the like captions pop up like loony lemon meat, or like all kinds of like, my name is limey meat, or like something. It's like really funny. Reflexology is awesome. I just don't really like being touched. And I don't like my feet being touched very much. So okay. It does support DMT release, recall. That sounds about right. Good. I'm glad you guys like that advice. I get a lot of comments on that advice on the zodiac, and I'm like, oh, this is an old video, and I'm still getting comments on it. So my next plans, I have a event in Florida in February, and I have a retreat in Florida in March. And then I have my online classes. And after Costa Rica in March, I will be going to probably Toronto next because that's where my friend lives. And I've actually had a lot of people ask me about doing something in Toronto. So that would be great. I could get to see a friend of mine. And then I'm going to be, I forget the city in Colorado. I want to say it's closer to Denver, like in the Denver, like outer place. I'm not 100% sure, that I was talking about doing with my friend Maxwell, who he owns Monk and Moon, the crystal shop that I always talk about. I haven't talked about them in a while because he took a little break from it and I didn't want to keep sending people there. But yeah, so I'm going to do Toronto and also Denver for sure, but I would really like to get to Seattle. I've never been and I really just feel called. I got like a grunge heartache kind of thing for Seattle, I guess. Yeah, I'm not gonna go to Toronto in March. I'm sorry. I meant Costa Rica in March, and then after that, like maybe May or something, do Toronto and also Denver in the spring as well. It might not be Denver, but like that area, I think. I'm good. Thanks for asking. Yeah, you could totally make it to Seattle. It's super close to you. I mean, compared to Florida. How to charge crystals. You can charge them in the moonlight, in the sunlight. You can charge them with intention. Personally, I think the best way to like charge them sometimes is like when you feel a lot. So like if you ever get really excited or like, ooh, like you're like, if you're that type of person that gets like buzzy, to like charge your crystal while you're buzzy. I'm in Palm Beach County. Thank you. Arizona. I would love to go to Arizona. Hey Josh, how's it going? I haven't started the group classes yet. I just have the first one on February 22nd, but no one signed up yet because I just created it today and I only mentioned it on Instagram. I feel like grief, the advice I'd have for grief is just that you have to like get through it. You know, like that's the worst advice ever. You just have to let it play out. It's hard, but focusing less on what you missed out on or what the person missed out on, and more on what they did experience and what they taught you and like that part about it, you know? I do have meditation videos and I do have some meditations, I think, on the innate as well. Hey, Cass. I've been thinking about you and your family. Oh, you're the best. Thank you. Hey, Oliver. Question, can we watch your videos back to back? Yeah, because you can watch them back to back because the intention is always like on behalf of your highest and greatest good. So it's perfectly fine. You know, it's not going to be like overdoing it because the intention is never including too much. You know what I'm trying to say? Like you can always do it. Crystals do need to be charged. They get disconnected from source energy and die just like a plant does, you know? You can tell when they're like kind of dead if you pick up. I mean, who am I to say? But like I believe you should charge them. Okay, this is gonna be my last question. Getting over mental blockage, emotional walls. You gotta just go through it. You can't really get over it. You gotta go like right through it. So whatever the emotion is, you have to I'm so sorry I did that like really close to the mic. But you have to let yourself like really feel it so that it can like so that the big wall of water and emotion that just hit you can like go away, you know? Thanks, Kim. I buy my crystals mostly on Etsy, Earthling 360. I love Monk and Moon, The Real Crystal, which I buy a lot from her. I follow a lot of Instagram accounts too. All right. I have to go to bed. It's like going to be 1 o'clock in the morning soon. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for the super chats and everything. And I feel like I saw an email pop up. So sorry. My inhaler really like grabs my throat when I'm talking a lot. I feel like I saw an email pop up from PayPal, which was a tip. So thank you, whoever sent that. That was very generous of you. Just all of you, thank you for being here, for letting me share some space with you. I was feeling super emotional today. I was crying. I was out of it. I like didn't want to do anything, but I also felt stir crazy. You know what I mean? I don't really have a lot of friends in Florida at all. Not really, not yet. And I'm just like unsure of the lay of the land, and like driving is different here, and I'm just out of my element, and it's okay. It's good. It's fresh and I love it, but it also is like so fucking weird and crazy. Like my whole life has changed so much. Everything that was like solid, or not everything, but some things that were such big pieces of my life are like no longer. They're different. It's the tower. And I'm like, I have all this shit left over. I have to figure this out, So, yeah. I know I'm not the only one, and I just wanted to come online and talk about that, especially that like kind of like self-bullying energy, or this like kind of feeling of attack that I'm feeling, or like not attack, but like inner conflict. I can't put words to it very good, but I hope that makes sense. So for those of you who are in Patreon, hopefully I'll see you tomorrow if you're able to make the live stream. I love doing those. We do like a Reiki share together. It's so nice. Yay. Okay, cool. Wonderful. How funny. I just saw that and I was just saying it at the same time. Great minds. Good night, everybody. I hope you guys have a great day. And I will try to set this up to do more streams, and like think of something I can do maybe on some kind of schedule that's a little more predictable, or develop something, that's kind of this, but maybe a better layout. I really want to like get a better layout so you can actually see the cards and I don't have to hold them up for you. I really hate doing that. I know it's not aesthetically pleasing or supportive and conducive of like following a story. I do my best though. All right. I love that. Peace and comfort. How perfect. Thanks, Puzzler Girl. All right. Good night, everyone. I hope you have a great day tomorrow, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great weekend. Remember to please be gentle with yourself. It's going to be intense, like freaking Saturn-Pluto conjunction, which hasn't happened in like 37 years or something like that. It's funny. The last time Pluto and Saturn together was when I was born then. Like I was born in a Pluto-Saturn conjunction. I don't know if it was technically a conjunction, but like in the same sign. I have a Libra stellium. Is that the word? I have a bunch of Libra in there, and it's also Mars, Saturn, Pluto in Libra. Oh, okay. Later. Most intense month of astrology ever. It's like Leo King. I've been watching so much Leo King. It's so good. You guys should watch his stuff. If you want to get into astrology, I think he does a great job of being like funny and just like, what? This guy's like, he was, I guess, came from like, or there was a time in his life where he did like reality TV or something like that. So he's got like a personality that reminds me of like the real world or something. And I fucking love reality TV. So like see this like astrologer dude like dishing stuff out. I'm like, oh, it's so cool. It's so funny. He's great though. You guys should really like his channel. All right, that's it for real. Okay, I'm gonna hang up. Bye. I'm bad at goodbyes. Later.